Let me see my biggest pimple. I wanted to make this video about Jayda Fransen. Now, Jayda Fransen is a political activist in Britain. She's actually 4 years and a week younger than me. She recently went to prison for 9 months for a statute that was invoked, ironically, the year she was born, 1986. Now, Jayda Fransen is a political activist. Not going to lie about that. She is kind of sort of like Brigitte Gabriel in our country, except Brigitte is older than Jayda, and Brigitte is a immigrant to my country, not a native-born American. And she's basically an advocate against radical Islam. And you can look at her Wikipedia page, and I'll post a link to Instagram below if I can. We also follow each other on Gab, her and I. I talked to her a few times. She's been convicted and arrested and investigated for, I don't know, every single little minute detail. You can read on Wikipedia. Copy her name and put it in the Google search. But she's been convicted of handing out leaflets. She's been convicted of making online, broadcasting online. Convicted. Whereas the court arrests her and charges her, okay? Yeah, convicted. Now, the main thing she was convicted of and spent 9 months in prison for, and they're trying to re-violate her probation and send her back to prison. The main thing is there was a radical Islamist who was charged with sex crimes against minors. I don't know all the details, please forgive me. But she stood outside a public street and yelled pedophile at him. Now, in America, if you go into a courtroom, if you go into the court building and you yell rapist, pedophile, guilty, not guilty, if you yell out of turn, you will almost certainly be convicted of contempt of court. Almost certain, it's like beyond the shadow of a doubt. Okay? But on the street, if you were in America and you were on a public street yelling, it's odds are, unless you say I'm gonna fucking kill you, you're not gonna get arrested. Case in point, Tim McVeigh, Susan Smith, a lot of other people were being paraded in front of cameras, handcuffed, charged with very serious crimes. Murder, rape, torture, terrorism, shit like that. Child abuse, etc., etc., etc. And the public would yell at them real loud. Monster, terrorist, killer, fuck you. Okay? People yell things out loud. As long as you're in a public street yelling out someone out loud, it's almost impossible to be convicted of anything. It really is. Is it fair to the legal system? Well, the guy's on trial. He's innocent until proven guilty. And you're yelling out loud at him in public before he's convicted of anything. So you're not being fair. However, the First Amendment says you can say whatever the fuck you want, as long as you're not in the court building. And she yelled at some guy, pedophile, okay, and she was convicted of religious harassment. Now, you've been seeing Britain become Islamicized. And I don't mean Muslims move to Britain and stay there and, no. Britain, believe it or not, obviously, you probably know this by now, Britain once controlled 75% of the known world. Or at one point or another, okay? And if you watch the Harry Potter movies, there's a pair of Indian twins, okay? Well, Britain owned India at one point in time. And there may have been Indian people that moved to the mainland for whatever reason, or when India declared independence, you may have had Indian guys that said, hey, fuck this, we're going to go to main Britain. So there's Indians in Britain, okay? Blacks. There's blacks in Britain because blacks were slaves, even though Britain liberated slaves before the United States did. There are blacks living there. Jamaica. Jamaica was once Britain. In fact, the guy, Ian Fleming, the guy that wrote James Bond novels in Jamaica, the British colony. And when Jamaica declared independence, a lot of Jamaicans went to main Britain. So you will see colors and races and religions in Britain that are mixed matched. Okay? And as long as they behave themselves, not a fucking problem. But the past couple of years in England, France, Germany, Sweden, okay, you're seeing guys from the Middle East parade into Europe. Now, they're not going to the next country over to declare refugee status. They're just invading all of Europe. And Emma Watson, speaking of Harry Potter, had her tweet, hashtag welcome refugees. And when they had that terrorist attack in France, where the guys were shot up in the nightclubs, yeah. And then the rock concert, yeah. A whole bunch of guys took pictures of that, of dead bodies covered in blood, posted them online, and tagged Emma Watson. Hashtag Emma Watson, at Emma Watson. Hashtag welcome refugees. Okay? So, Jayda Fransen has a legitimate complaint because her native soil is being overrun by extremists. And that's a bad thing. We have the same problem in our country, where we have guys coming here illegally and staying forever and causing a lot of problems. Okay? And Jayda Fransen was convicted because she yelled pedophile at a guy on a public street. And yes, she's given the country reason to grieve because she has a very big mouth. Probably she likes me so much. But she has a very big mouth. But A, you cannot prove at all that she ever hurt anybody physically. B, under our law, what she's doing will be legal. Online speeches, literature will be legal. Unless she says flat out, let's kill the Muslims or let's kill the foreigners, okay? Under American law, she'd be perfectly safe. Okay? She was once convicted of wearing a uniform in public. I don't know what the fuck that meant. But, yeah. Like a Britain First uniform because she's a part of a political organization called Britain First. And this is very disturbing. Now, am I asking you to agree with Jayda Fransen? No. Am I asking you to like Jayda Fransen? No. Do I agree with everything that every loudmouth in my country says? No. Do I wish they would shut up sometimes? Yes. But disagreeing with someone, hating someone, wanting someone to shut up is different than convicting someone of a crime and sending them to prison because they have a felony. Okay? That's what this is about. And she was in prison for 9 months, and now they're trying to violate her again, and I think she might be going back to prison soon for having the wrong email address, or I don't know what the fuck they do there, but now in my country, terrorist groups are racial hate groups are protected. Not terrorist groups, racial hate groups. Do I agree with that? No, I do not. Do I like racial hate groups? No, I do not. But under the First Amendment, any speech is legal in my country so long as no one is getting hurt physically. And they've had video footage. I've seen video footage of the goddamn Ku Klux Klan walking down the road wearing robes, handing out racially charged literature. Fuck all minorities. Fuck these groups. Fuck the gays. Fuck this. Okay, every racial group. Fuck this group. Fuck that group. Homeless. Fuck. Okay. Okay. And the police will be standing right there. And the police will say to the camera, until they hurt somebody, I can't stop them. Truth. So, my problem is, Jayda Fransen should not be convicted of felonies. She should not be sent to prison because she's complaining loudly about what's going on in our country. And if you look at the news, she has a legitimate complaint. Stabbings, okay, car attacks where they drive on the fucking sidewalk and kill 50 people and then get out of the car with a butcher knife and stab guys doing Allahu Akbar and shit, okay? That happens in Europe, okay? You had a British soldier in Europe who was off duty and beheaded. And the guy that beheaded him was in a public street, covered in blood, with a fucking knife in his hand, saying, "We are very sorry you had to witness this, but this is what we must resort to." Okay? So, the problem is, if you got guys, soldiers, because you love your military, don't you? Don't you love the troops? Don't you? When you have off-duty soldiers that are beheaded in the street in front of women, and the terrorist, and they are terrorists, says, "We are very sorry we had to witness this, but we are forced to resort to this." Okay? Or when you have guys jumping up on the sidewalk in a car, plowing everybody down, getting out of the car with a fucking butcher knife this big, yelling Allahu Akbar and stabbing guys. If you're more concerned about someone's big mouth than you are about guys being killed, okay, you got your priorities fucked up. Okay? And I'm not saying this because I want you to agree with Jayda. You can disagree with her all you want. It's okay with me. Okay? I agree with her sometimes. I disagree with her sometimes. Okay? And that's perfectly okay. Okay? Well, you're cool. But I want you to understand this. In this country now, you have teachers that are fired because they don't want to recognize a transgender student. Okay? You have a transgender student who is a boy, identifies as a girl. And the teacher says, "I'm going to call that person by the name on their birth certificate," and get suspended. Okay? You had a football coach who was fired for kneeling on the field and praying. Okay? You have guys that are saying, you know, "If you don't say the right pronoun, I'm gonna fucking sue you." Okay? You have a guy who said, "Listen, it violates my belief to make a cake for a gay wedding. I entertained this gay couple a dozen times. I told them I'll entertain them a dozen more times. I'll make any cake they want except the wedding cake. And I'll even inquire other bakeries to help with their wedding cake." $100,000 fine. Had to go to the Supreme Court. Okay? So, you see where this is going, my friends. Okay? Now, me personally, I would have baked the gay wedding cake. Okay? Me personally, if I'm making t-shirts and you say, "I want a shirt that says gay pride." You got the money? Fine, I'll make it a fucking shirt. Okay? But I don't want my countrymen to go to prison or pay fines or lose their job or lose their livelihood or lose their store because they disagree. Okay? And you're seeing the result of that in Europe, in Britain. Okay? Someone is convicted of religious harassment because they speak about radical Islam. Now, I bet you any amount of money, if Jayda Fransen saw a peaceful Muslim walking down the block, minding their own business, she probably wouldn't care. She's concerned about the radicals who are overrunning her country. Okay? She's concerned about terrorism. Okay? That's it. And you see, this is coming here now. Okay? And there have been people that said, there's been politicians that said, "I'd like to revoke the First Amendment. Why do you need a limit on, why can't we limit this? You should be fired for doing that. You should go to jail for doing that. You should lose your license for doing that," okay? There are people in this country now that would love to have the kind of law in Britain where if you complain about radical Islam or if you speak against radical Islam, you go to jail. And you also see the guy Tommy Robinson, also on the same page, also went to jail. Okay? And I'd be lying if I said I agree with everything people say. I have my own strong beliefs. Other guys have their strong beliefs. We have a right to disagree. We have a right to hate each other. But I don't want to see guys going to jail unless they get violent. When you get violent, I want you in jail. When you commit perjury, I want you in jail. Okay? But unless you're violent, or unless you're committing perjury, okay, unless you're hurting someone, I don't want you to be punished. And I have stood up for the rights of people who said the exact opposite of what I believe. Because I know that my right to believe this is also protecting their right to believe that. My right to speak against them protects their right to speak against me, and vice versa. Okay? And that's a problem. And I want you to look at this video, and I want you to look at Jayda Fransen, and I don't care if you say you hate her. I don't care if you say you want her to shut up. Understand that she should not be put in prison because she said something that you didn't like. You know how much shit I get on the internet? You know how much shit I get in real life? Okay? You know how many times I heard people say, fuck you, Vinny, you're a piece of shit, Vinny, I don't like you, Vinny, you're a motherfucker. Okay? You know how many times I was online and somebody like, you fucking white people, you fucking Christians, you fucking Italians, you fucking white guys with beards, you fucking hate, I hate you so much, I hope you fucking die. Okay? People speak. And the speech is hurtful, but no one should go to jail for it. Okay? I never wanted anybody to go to jail for their speech. Okay? I've had people block me online. I've had people curse me online. I've had guys blow horny on me, fuck you in the street. Okay? I don't want anybody to go to jail for their mouth. Okay? In this country, you can be a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Even if I don't like that. In this country, you can give the middle finger to the police, even though I don't agree with that. But when you lose a little bit of freedom, you lose all freedom. And there's an old saying about first they came for them, and I said nothing. Then they came for them, and I said nothing. Then they came for them, and I said nothing. Then they came for me, and there's no one left. Okay, understand that. Okay, you had 2 months ago in the United States Senate, in this country, the United States Senate, half of the senators in this country led a lynch mob against a sitting federal judge. That's how little they care about your freedom. If they're willing to attack a federal judge over a false allegation, what's going to happen when they come after you? What's going to happen? Okay? You understand what I mean? And make no mistake about it. If half of the United States Senate is willing to renounce their own oath of allegiance to this country and lead a lynch mob against a federal judge, understand they would have no problem putting you in jail for saying radical Islam sucks. Okay? Or saying radical Hinduism sucks. Or radical atheism sucks. Or I don't like this group, okay? Think about that. Thank you.